Hello, welcome to the Nerd Spectrum Podcast. Today we are talking horror.
Horror!
Daisy's going to be taking the lead on this because horror is much more up her alley than it is mine.
I feel like that's something that everyone should have
gotten.
gathered by now, but if not, yes, I will call myself the resident horror nerd because this is called the Nerd Spectrum, and I firmly believe that horror is an aspect of nerddom.
Yeah. We wouldn't have messed up monsters like Venom or Carnage.
Without horror.
Yeah.
I mean, Fantastic Four came from horror comics.
Yeah. So where we starting?
With a sip.
A sip of your margarita.
I guess, okay, we'll just start off with, like, the horror resurgence, because I feel like lately, or, well, actually, I looked it up, because in my personal opinion, the horror industry, or, like, movies, started getting better again with Insidious.
When did that come out?
2010.
Oh, did you look it up?
Yes.
I agree. That was the first, like, really big
hit.
Yeah.
In, like, modern time, I think, because everything before that is kind of just, like,
it was a
basic.
I was gonna say it was, like, remakes, too, because you still had, like, the Rob Zombie Halloweens, the Friday the 13th. They
House
made, like,
of Wax.
House of Wax. They made, like, 2 more Chainsaw Massacres.
Yeah. Just a lot of basic stuff. But I think Insidious was, like, what got everyone back in it. That was good enough and, like, brought it into more of the mainstream. But I think...
Because it was horrifying.
Because it was horrifying. Like, the entire concept was scary.
Nobody had been afraid to sleep since, like, maybe the first Freddy Krueger, the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I agree. But I think, in my personal opinion, obviously, Insidious is what kick-started it. But I think what really, like, brought it home was The Conjuring.
Why is that?
Because that's what everyone refers to whenever they're, like... Whenever it's, like, a comparison of, like, horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's, like, anything like that, it's always The Conjuring. Which
is weird because it wasn't the first.
Yeah. But, like, I guess I get it because it was really scary, like the first one. And it was based off a true story, so that alone...
I was going to say that probably makes it stick
Yeah,
in your
that makes
mind
it more scary. That makes it something that people fear. But Insidious, in my opinion, was way scarier. I still can't watch the whole thing through completely.
Without keeping your eyes closed at some point?
Yes. Which is what horror is to me. But I like ghost and, like, demon.
The Conjuring has
horror.
taken a small, like, kick, though.
Yeah, with the new...
With Annabelle was kind of a flop.
Annabelle was okay.
Annabelle Creation was really good.
Annabelle Creation was really good, but the first Annabelle movie wasn't so good. The Nun.
And then the third Insidious.
Yeah, the third Insidious was trash.
But Annabelle 3 is coming out this year.
Yeah, and then the from the second Conjuring movie.
The Crooked Man?
Yes.
I don't get how he's getting his own movie, though.
Me neither, because he doesn't really seem like anything. It kind of just seems like he's going to be some sort of, like, the Babadook ripoff.
Yeah.
Is the vibe that I get off that. Which, the Babadook, also, super amazing horror movie.
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree, because I'm really not a big fan of the Babadook.
You're not?
No.
Why?
I'm not, just, like, that and It Follows. The premise is really good. Mm-hmm. But
the execution
did not land with me at all. Like the Babadook.
I mean, I get that for It Follows because it is one of those movies that is so talked about that I kind of expected more from it, but it was a little lackluster for me. I still think it's a really good like horror movie.
It's a good concept and it's a good like way to freak you out, and it's also really like normal in like its passability, you know what I mean? Like you just have sex and bam, demon.
Yeah, you know, them STDs.
Yeah. But to have the ending, one, it was an open ending.
Yeah.
Where it was
especially with that like you see someone walking behind it, but you can interpret it as someone just so happens to be following them, or he didn't go through with it and now they're gonna die.
Which is stupid to me, because it's like, why wouldn't you just, you know? Like, even if you... Because the kid didn't believe it.
Just the moral.
Yeah.
But that's the point, is that he didn't believe her. Like, if it was the creature or whatever from It Follows, like, if it was the end, it was a creature following them, that means that in the end, he didn't believe her, therefore she really is alone in it all. Because nobody believed her.
Right.
Which, I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about the ending just didn't, like, stick. And then the Babadook, too, where it was just, like... I get that it was a metaphor for depression. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe as somebody that does not suffer from depression, I don't understand it. And that, like, hinders me.
Well, I mean, you can even take it as more than just depression, because that's clearly what it is. But you could also take it, like, the ending, just living with your own demons and just learning to deal with it and having to be okay with it. Type of thing, because that's essentially what she did. She had to fucking just deal with this monster.
She sent it to the basement?
She sent it to the basement and then just fed it worms.
Ew. That was also nasty, like, just... Ugh.
I don't know. I really liked the Babadook, mainly because of the book aspect of it, like, that story to it, and, like, the, like, just, like, the freakiest thing of it about Insidious, for me, is the music.
Oh, because it really...
Because it's so reminiscent of, like, classic horror movies.
The strings where it just, like, rises.
Exactly. Like, it is... Like, whenever I first watched it, I watched it in theaters, which was a horrible choice because I literally didn't watch it at all because I was so scared the entire time. I was, like, behind my hands. But it, like, starts with, like, whatever scene, and then it fades to black, and it's just, like, red Insidious and that, like, thing, and it's very, like, reminiscent of The Exorcist. Mm-hmm. And, like, that score, which I think is great because music, especially with horror movies, because it's supposed to be so suspenseful and, like, keep you on your toes, the music is so important because... If it doesn't give you, if it doesn't give you that creepy factor, if it doesn't, like, give you anxiety, then it's not doing its job and it's pointless.
Sort of like Dead Silence, which is the opposite, right? The absence of sound.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
When you heard nothing, that's when you knew.
That's unnerving.
Yeah, it's not natural.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's what I really liked about Insidious. That really freaks me out. That I feel like the Babadook did. But with, like, what Insidious did, like, with the sound, I feel like the Babadook did visually with that book. Mm-hmm. Like, the storytelling of it and how it just starts off innocent and then it's like, psych, man, like, he kills you and, like, takes you and all this stuff. So, I like that. Because personally, along with, like, ghosts, I like the unsettling factor of horror. Like, I don't like gore horror. Like, it's just...
Even though you like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies?
Yeah, but it's just, like... But that's more because it's, like, an origin story for Michael Myers as opposed to, like, the gore of it. I don't like gore movies because that's, like, such cheap tricks for me.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it's literally
like
just...
Saw got sword.
Yeah, exactly. It's just...
Saw turned into a gore fest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, like... Instead of, like, actually putting thought into something that will unsettle you and something that scares you, it's just like, here's somebody getting their head chopped off or something, and that's supposed to be the scary part of it. It's not...
Right, like what made...
The like, feeling of somebody watching you and you don't know.
Like, what made the first, I'll say 2 Saws. Or even 3, because, like, the first 3 was, like, the trilogy.
Yeah, the first 3 were good.
Yeah. What made those, like, unnerving was, like... consequence to choice and stuff like that. Like, you had to saw off your foot or being pushed into a pit full of needles, dirty needles.
Yeah.
Like, all of that just freaks you out. There's kind of no getting around it because it's such, like, a natural fear.
Yeah, and it's also just, like, especially with the Saw, it's just kind of, like, because you, like, if you were that person that got captured, it's like, why am I in this situation?
Yeah.
And you just freaking wake up in it, kind of thing. So, like, that's scary. Like, just that concept alone of waking up somewhere you have no idea how you got there, and now you're trapped is terrifying.
And you're potentially forced to kill somebody.
Exactly. Like, they went too hard towards the end with just, like, just trying to go bigger and bigger. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like now, after Insidious and after The Conjuring, they're getting back to, like, classic horror, where it's not, like, just blood and guts. It's like they think about, how can I unsettle you? How can I freak you out and make you think about this 2 weeks after you saw the movie?
Yeah.
And that's what I like. I like being unsettled and scared to go to sleep.
That's
what makes horror.
Yeah, there's been some good hitters. There were some early hitters that I won't say nothing came into fruition afterwards, because, like, The Strangers was good. The idea for The Purge was good.
The second Strangers was
god-awful.
Absolute trash. It totally just...
goes against everything.
It just completely went back on the entire idea of the first one. Like, what was so scary about the first one...
just showing up to
was
cabin.
That it just showed up and then you got scared, like, and they are trying to kill you for no apparent reason. But, like, the second one just totally went back on it because they made the strangers out to be, like...
predators, almost?
Yeah, and, like, tried to make them be, like, unhuman in a way. Where it's, like, they just had, like, special abilities. Like, the last guy, like, the guy...
the father?
Yeah, he just kept...
coming back. He wouldn't fucking die.
Exactly, and that's like a slasher movie. It's not what the strangers were. Like,
he was on some Michael Myers juice.
Exactly, like, they're not supernatural beings. They don't have, like, these inhuman abilities. They literally are just regular people who decide to go psycho and like,
there was
murder.
A little bit of, like, a disregard for their life. Because in
their own?
Yeah, because in the first one, they were very careful and very meticulous in their planning and their destroying of everything. In this one, the girl got shot and was, like, laughing.
Yeah.
And, like, you didn't get that vibe from them. What made them creepy was, one, they showed up out of nowhere and killed you because you were home. Alright, I guess that's two. And three, it's just, like, they had everything so perfectly planned. Like, the boyfriend or ex, however you want to interpret that movie, when he goes outside with the shotgun and he sees, I think, the mom... or the daughter going into the shed and he's about to, like, take a shot, the dad comes out of nowhere and kicks him and knocks him out. So it's like, they meticulously planned this. And then in The Strangers, it's like, no, they killed an entire, like, trailer park and made it their hunting grounds should anybody show up. The mom...
yeah, like, they heard her leave that voicemail that they're coming. They were like, well, let's stick around.
Yeah, and, like, the mom died so unceremoniously, the daughter died so unceremoniously. So it's just like... and then it ended on a fucking cliffhanger, too.
Yeah.
With what was, like, the little toy that was in one of the trailers?
Yeah, I think so.
It was, like, just this little jingle that was coming from the... and that was stupid, too. Like, it completely ruined any potential for, like, a franchise of that.
Yeah, which I think they could have made it a franchise if they just went with the idea of just like regular serial killers or just, like, murderers. Like, they are regular people who just... something overcame them and they decided, like, I'm gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if they kept that aspect of it, because that's more of the vibe you get in the first Strangers, is they were just,
they could have
like,
done a 10th anniversary, where it's like, it's been 10 years since, like...
it happened. And there's, like, copycat. Yeah,
I guess you could say fiancé, because they were both wearing the rings at the time. But yeah, it's like 10 years since, like, these two died in a cabin mysteriously, after a wedding, and their best friend was shot in the face, and, like, you know, all the stuff that went down. And then it's like, bam, you know, do that. And, like, that's also pretty human because, like, some murderers get their fill for a little bit and then they don't kill for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. They could have made a series out of it instead of just trying to continue with what they had. Just redo it, I guess.
Yeah.
But in a new way. Like, there's always going to be someone out there who wants to just maliciously do stuff.
Yeah, like, without
people.
rhyme or reason.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, they could have just gone with that concept and continued it and, like, do it well. Like
yeah.
The first Strangers did, not the second one. That was crap.
It's like it seems like the resurgence right now, though. We're no longer in slasher territory. I don't think we take slashers as seriously as we used to.
Yeah, I think slashers, like with Happy Death Day to You, it's more of a, like, joke.
Yeah.
It's more something to, like, poke fun of.
After Wes Craven called out all the tropes.
Oh my gosh.
In Scream.
Scream is so good.
Everybody's always... no, like, people have tried to, like, poke at it the same way. I think,
but no one can do it.
Yeah.
No.
Happy Death Day's done well to, like...
yeah, and I'm, like...
in that they're going full crazy.
Yeah, and we still haven't seen the second one, but I did read part of an interview because I was on my break and then I had to go back to work. So I only got like halfway through the interview, but they did Collider. I read their interview that they had with the director, because in Happy Death Day to You, which we haven't seen yet, it's more sci-fi.
Interesting.
Than it is horror, which I think some people are like mad about because it's not like the first one. But I also think that's interesting because the first one,
they already introduced a wild concept to
they already did a
movie.
wild concept to a slasher movie. You got all the like gore that you get in a slasher movie. You got the like poke fun of and like was aware of itself. And so why not go just balls to the wall and add some sci-fi shit to it?
Like they're already living every day over and over again. So like that's never been done before. Why not go crazy?
Yeah. But I do agree. Like the horror resurgence is more
psycho, or not psychotic, but it's more mental.
Yeah, it's less like I'm just a crazy serial killer and I'm just killing a bunch of kids at a summer camp, and more
meant to disturb you.
Yes.
Like Get Out.
Yes. Oh my god. And how I know Us is gonna be. It's not out yet, but I know it's gonna make me think, and it's gonna freak me out because I already had a nightmare based on the trailer alone. And if that doesn't tell you that it's gonna be a good movie, then I don't know what does.
Some weak-minded stuff, in my opinion.
That's I don't know. I just appreciate movies that like, or horror movies that don't rely on like jump scares as much. Cause like, I don't need somebody jumping at me every like 5 minutes to be like.
Even though let's be real, Insidious did do that nonstop.
It did, but there's a difference between like it's just being a jump scare and like fulfilling the jump scare.
I think the difference between Insidious and like kind of cheap thrills would be primarily that it kind of relied on sound, and like it wasn't visual. You had some visual jump scares where things would show up, but like you had the baby monitor talking where he's like muttering it's mine, and then it like elevates and you hear the computer slam, or not the computer, the piano keys, like somebody slams on piano keys for the sound,
and then it's just like building and then he's like, get out, like immediately,
and the baby starts crying. So it's like, whoa.
But like I think the difference with the Insidious, like it did rely a lot on the music, but it also like with the jump scares that it did. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I almost spilled our water. That
scared the hell out of me. That was super loud on the microphone.
I think as long as jump scares are being like followed through, then it's okay.
Is there like sirens going?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Glad that's not in my head. Because, we're talking horror, so I'm trying to like...
So now you're just like on edge?
I'm not on edge yet because my on edge is slashers. I don't get as scared from the mental stuff as you do. Like, I have a thing, like, because Insidious didn't get to me, and it has never gotten to me, because I do, for going to sleep, I know everybody has, like, something they do, or some people can just fall, lucky y'all, but to go to sleep, I imagine doors closing in my head, and, like, it's sort of like white light, and it's close, and, like, eventually the final door closes, and that's sleep, I guess, for me. So... my on edge, when like in terms of horror resurgence, is Michael Myers. He's my boogeyman.
Yeah.
That entire movie was built on like humanizing him, and that's what freaks me out about him, is that there is no humanizing him. Like, he just is.
Yeah.
So.
But I also liked Halloween because it is a slasher movie, but it wasn't like a classic slasher movie. There
was no sex. There was no drunk. Well, there was a drunk kid, but he wasn't part of it. Yeah. Really. Well, oh no, wait. The little friend. What's his Oscar? He was drunk.
He was a bit drunk, but he was like the only. But it's not like a classic.
It wasn't like a party. There was no party. There was no sex. There was no rules being broken, so to speak. It was kind of Michael just. Killing.
And like it was like.
Actually, that movie breaks all the tropes.
Yeah, and it was, like, really brutal in terms of his killing and everything, but it was, like, realistic, I guess.
Just a lot of unlocked doors.
Yeah. And it's just, like, people just not taking care of their fucking home instead of just, like, let me just slit throats and just like a bunch of blood and just comes gushing out like all the time.
Would you call that a gore fest?
Halloween?
Yeah.
No.
Even though the cop gets his head chopped off and he's made into a jack-o'-lantern? Or a curb stomping?
I just feel like it was more realistic, though.
In that...
Like, in the way that they...
Oh, like, you could...
It. Like...
I get what you're saying.
Do you?
No, yeah.
Okay.
Because, like,
Michael just stopped.
Well, I was thinking about it. Because I was like... I'm sure it's harder to crush a human skull than that, but I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
I mean, I'm sure if you're as tall as Michael Myers is and
as thick as he is.
Yeah, that it probably isn't as hard.
He killed for the most part, realistically though, he killed with purpose. Like, the podcasters,
yeah,
they had his mask. He wanted it. The guys he killed at the gas station, he took their clothes. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really until he got to Haddonfield that he
kind of just did it.
Went just bananas.
Yeah. But it was also, like, in the cover of Night, too.
Yeah. What else? The Final Girl thing got kind of taken away.
Because there was 3 Final Girls.
Yeah. Final Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
All the Strodes. But now they're making a second, and it makes me nervous.
Yeah, I agree.
The director said he had stuff set up. David Gordon Green. He said he had left things set up. Particularly with Cameron.
The boyfriend?
Yeah, but I don't know how that's gonna work. You know? Like,
me neither.
I know, like, there's only so much you can do with Michael without kind of ruining this. And I really appreciated this. Also for, like, a reboot or resurgence or
whatever.
A recanoning of...
Just a redo.
Yeah. It was really good. It was really dope.
Yeah, I agree. There's just been a lot of good horror movies.
You want to talk about your favorite reboot?
It. I wish that its name was something more than just It, because that just sounds like so unceremonious.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, It, Stephen King. Hell yeah.
Your number one most anticipated?
Mm-hmm. It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
This year. Yeah. It is great and amazing.
It kind of gets at your fear in a different way. Because you're worried more for the kids, and you never really worry for the characters. I never watched Scream, and I was like, oh god, Sydney's gonna die. It kind of helped that Randy was, like, naming the rules, and...
So you're like, of course she's not gonna die.
Well, she had sex, right? Because she and Billy do it.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, now you can die. Shouldn't have done that.
So...
Billy, though.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
You're terrible.
Okay, yes, like, he's a horrible person, but you can't tell me that he's not good looking.
No, he looks crazy. He has crazy eyes.
Okay, yes.
Skeet Ulrich has crazy eyes. Like, if you look at him in anything he's in, he has crazy eyes.
Like, in The Craft, he also does have crazy eyes.
So, I'm not about it, son.
Whatever. He's cute. I don't care.
But, you know, I'm never worried for Sydney. I never worried for Lori. It's weird. In my mind, I was like, she's the babysitter. She has to take care of the kids. Of course she's gonna win. Like, as a little kid when I was watching it, it freaked me out to watch. But I was like,
but you know, to like, my parents,
my logic was all her friends are dead. Someone has to live, right? And it's not just gonna be the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd been exposed to too many other mature things, so that was my logic had some sound to it because I was 5 or 6 when I first watched the first Halloween.
Your parents are horrible. Honestly, I didn't watch Halloween until I was like 13.
That's too late. I learned so much from horror movies, you know, in my younger days. I had weapons totally ready to go. I had a lightsaber under my pillow. I had a bat behind my dressers. I was ready to throw down, man. Anybody broke in, you're ready to smash some shit. But anyway,
you're ridiculous. It, yes. My favorite movie of 2017, my most anticipated for this year, It Chapter 2. I don't know, I think, because, like, going off of the, like, 1990s, It, like, the TV series, whatever, with Tim Curry, I think a lot of people that were, like, younger, obviously, when that came out can definitely, like, point to that. Like, even, like, kids now, like, I know my cousin, she can't go near, like, a freaking sewer grate because it freaks her out because of It. And, like, that was, like,
Pennywise is just gonna probably be like,
yeah!
Hi, Georgie!
And that was, like, well after that movie had come out when we had watched it. So it's like the 1990s version. Yes. Version. Definitely like ingrained like that natural fear of like clowns and like the sewers that everybody has anyways. And I mean watching it now is a little ridiculous.
Right. It doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up.
And there's some messed up
like
slurs and stuff.
Like Tim Curry's like portrayal of Pennywise holds up, but overall the movies don't, and they're honestly a little bit ridiculous.
I think it's the storytelling. Like that's just why. Like it's a little strange. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you like I don't know. It's weird. Just like you say, like Tim Curry holds up. The monster always holds up. Like the monster has to hold up.
Yeah, because it's the thing of nightmares.
Jason doesn't hold up. That motherfucker went to space and got turned into like a robot. He never holds up.
Yeah, but I think the reboot, the new version of it, obviously it's so much more book accurate than the old one was.
It's a little more relevant in like how people are willing to turn a blind eye to abuses.
Yeah,
and
like, it's not my business. I'm not gonna say anything to it.
Yeah, like not even just with like what's his name, the bully, Henry.
Yeah.
Not even just with like Henry Bowers beating up on Mike, and like kind of being and obviously being racist and stuff like that. But his friends don't really know how to handle Henry being abused when his dad shoots like at his feet. Like
yeah, they're kind of just like looking away, like oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, and they're like, I'm sorry.
Right now?
And they're like, you okay, man? And then he goes and obviously finds the pocket knife with the balloon.
Yeah.
But a lot of that is like, well, you don't know how to deal with it. You don't deal with it, or you just absolutely ignore it.
Yeah,
ignore its existence.
I think the new It does well with how all the like more modern horror movies are about being a little more realistic about what it is portraying, like how, the fears, like realistic fears that people have, and then just escalating it. Mm-hmm. I think it does that well because, obviously Pennywise is terrifying.
Is he?
I mean, he's pretty creepy.
I'd be okay with a clown.
Okay, most people aren't.
It's just it's the eye. I know it's a weird thing he can do on his own, but I'd be a little intrigued by it.
And the lip thing.
That too. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
And the drill. He could do that on he does that like on command.
He does it all. He's very impressive. I saw him doing an interview and I was
Bill
like,
Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the Skarsgård brothers are fucking impressive.
Like, alright guys, I see what y'all been doing at home, just competing against each other.
Try and wear
for
each
some
other
scary
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like Pennywise is obviously creepy because killer clown preying on children is scary, but it also
literally eating them.
Yes, literally just eating arms and just all kinds of shit.
Poor Georgie. He killed the cutest kid in cinema.
Yeah. Well, it'd be that way sometimes. But it also has like realistic stuff like abuse and just like neglectful parents, or like honestly I think like the worst parent is Eddie's mom.
Oh my god, yes. Smothering?
Yes. Like oh fuck, I can't remember the real life case of it.
Munchausen syndrome? No. Or what are you getting at?
The like mother-daughter duo.
The mother-daughter duo that...
You're not gonna know. You don't know murder stories.
Oh, okay. Well, see, you're not...
I don't know. What's her name? Joey King is portraying her in a movie that I believe is gonna be on Hulu. But it's a mother who basically was like Eddie's mom, who she wanted her to basically just keep her daughter with her at all times. So she was like, you're super sick. Like, let me take care of you. So much so that like... she just faked everything and constantly fed her like pills to make her stay sick essentially, and it got so bad and like the daughter knew. She grew older obviously and figured out what the hell was happening and convinced her boyfriend to help her murder her mom.
Oh, this was a case.
Yes!
I do know what you're talking about.
Yes, okay, I cannot remember the freaking names right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to contribute to this in any way, shape, or form.
I know you can't, because you're not into the murder stuff like I am.
No, the world's a dark place.
It is. Oh,
and
I gotta Google it, because it's gonna bother me, and I know someone's gonna be like, is this? And I'm gonna feel stupid.
I can deal with, like, injustices. I can deal with, you know, darker things going on in friends or peers or people's lives if they want to talk about it. Like, on a personal level, I cannot deal with, like, knowing somewhere out there, like, you know, wrongs are being done, abuse is happening and stuff like that. It just makes me sick. It makes me wish, like, we had a My Hero Academia kind of deal where, like, people could protect themselves more readily.
Okay.
Or, like, heroes, you know?
So the Hulu movie or series, I can't tell, to be honest, is called The Act, and it's the real life story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard is the girl,
The daughter,
and her mother. Yeah, D Blanchard is her mother.
Okay,
that's what their names is. Yeah, basically that. Eddie's mom is the worst.
She is the worst. She's a psychopath.
Yeah, and then spoilers for the second one, but I don't really care. His wife is the same.
Yeah.
Is the same way.
Ugh. That's sad.
I know.
Poor Eddie.
Eddie gets, like, the worst end of the stick. Well, Beverly also is pretty.
I'll say, I don't know. Eddie submits to it. Beverly, I wouldn't say caves in, because that fire's there, but she's subdued.
Yeah.
She fights, but there's a lot, like,
it takes a lot for her to, like, get to the point where she does fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Oh, it's gonna be hard for me to watch too, man.
Hell yeah!
I already can't deal with bullying, I can't deal with abuse. It makes me, like...
And that's, like, a very important part of that second half.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Anyway.
But going off of that, with the horror resurgence, there's been a resurgence of Stephen King novels being remade, obviously, like It.
Gerald's Game?
Well, that never was a thing. But yes, Gerald's Game came out on Netflix, and so did 1920-something?
Oh, the James Franco. Is that what you're talking about?
Nope.
Wasn't that Stephen King? On Hulu?
That is Stephen King, but that's not what I was referring to. It was on Netflix. It was a story of the farmer.
Yeah.
He killed his wife, and then his, like, son ended up dying and, like, all this stuff.
Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary, like, hell yeah, boy.
No, what you were just saying his son died and his wife died. And I'm like, sounds like Pet Sematary.
It's not Pet Sematary, but
no,
it did come. And then
no, but, like, a lot of the success had to come from, like, the Hulu thing, and then whatever James Franco was in.
It's the Hulu thing. It's James Franco.
No, I know, but I don't know what it's called.
The JFK. It was 11/23 something.
See, no, I can't do that. But I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. He goes back in time to try and stop the JFK assassination.
But, like, Stephen King's resurgence came from the horror, but, like, it had to come up from, like, the successes of, like, those little things, right? Like,
yeah, it had to come from, like, the Insidious and the Conjuring, bringing back because I feel like horror before Insidious and Conjuring was more like, if you like horror, then you seek it out. You have to go find it, and you have to go find those, like, hidden gems, because they weren't really, like, being released on the big screen. Like, all the horror movies that were being released were kind of, like, subpar.
Mm-hmm.
And then Insidious and The Conjuring came out, which were, like, big hits. Just for, like, a general audience. I have the numbers, actually.
Oh my god.
ASMR.
That's not how that works.
Yes, it is. Okay, so Insidious in 2010, when it came out, US made $97 million, then worldwide it made $167.7 million.
Well, do you know what the cost was?
No. I saw it, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
That's, like, one of the most important things. So, a general rule of thumb is, for a movie to be successful, ideally...
it has to make more than what it was worth to make.
Obviously.
Obviously.
It has to make 2.5 times what it was required to make. Wow,
I think
that
it
popped
was.
up fast.
I think Insidious was 1.5 billion was the budget.
1.5
no,
billion.
not billion. Million. My bad.
Yeah, because it was Blumhouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no way would they like put that much. The budget was 26.5. The box office. Oh, that's for four films. They made 4 films in $26.5 million. That's bananas. Most people freaking ask think of like how much Endgame and Infinity were. I think it was $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a straight $1 billion movie.
Yeah.
Insidious coming in. You're right. It was $1.5 million.
Ha! I knew it.
For the budget, and it made 97. It made, oh my god.
Yes, I have them written down. I know what they're worth.
You didn't know what the cost was.
I said I'm pretty sure they were 1.5 million.
I'm just verifying.
Because I was like, that's kind of low.
I just made the mistake of looking at the Dead Silence poster because it also popped up, and now I'm kind
Oh my god! Now you're gonna be freaked out. But yeah, that if you want to look up The Conjuring and how much that budget was, because it made 157 million US and 319 million worldwide, which is a big jump from Insidious. And there was only a 3-year difference between those two movies being released, and they're kind of really credited for bringing back.
It got 20. It was made with 20 million, and then
20 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, and worldwide it made 319. So
they doubled for The Conjuring, and I assume that's because they shot in London. Or for The Conjuring 2, sorry.
Oh, The Conjuring 2, yeah. Yeah, that one makes sense.
You just like any Blumhouse, like you know that they'll always make a return on investment.
Yeah, Blumhouse and A24.
They just know how to make horror.
Oh yeah.
Paranormal Activity was $11,000. And it made...
Wow. And it made so much money.
The franchise itself just... Yeah. They ran that to the ground.
They really did. Because towards the end, it got a little ridiculous. And I just wasn't able to follow what the hell was happening anymore. But they were good movies.
What would you say are keys to a good horror movie? Like, to build a good horror? Because for Paranormal Activity, a lot of it... They didn't put out trailers, really. They put out screen tests. Remember? It was like... Come see the scariest movie, or like they were like text.
Yeah, I remember. But I think for Paranormal Activity, like the first one specifically, it was a lot of just nobody. It was kind of like the Blair Witch Project. Like nobody knew if it was like actually real.
You don't think people were like?
No, they did. They did, because that movie, I remember that movie came out, I believe, when we were in 8th grade. I was an office aide.
Oh my god.
And I remember sitting in the office and listening to the secretaries at the front office talk about the movie and being like nobody knows if it's real or not. Like, I swear, like, nobody can tell. Like, they had a cast list at the end, but like, I don't think that means anything. Like, people genuinely thought that this was real. And I think it was that and like the word of mouth that made it become so big.
2009, yeah, that would have been... That either been a freshman or...
That was it. Like, I think that was like the end of 8th grade when that movie came out.
Oh, September 2009. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like people genuinely could not tell if it was actually found footage or not. And I think that, and plus I remember that there were like 4 different endings.
That they changed them
to the movie,
across.
And they changed them like depending on when you saw the movie. So like it was like, oh, what did you see? Well, what did you see? Kind of thing. So like it was a lot of like, I can't tell if this is real. There's a whole bunch of endings and a lot of people being like, that was so freaky, go watch it, type of thing. So
good movie.
That was that.
It did. No, the second one, Paranormal Activity 2, because that was a prequel. When she runs into Toby. Yeah. It did make me hesitate to chase my sister if she pissed me off.
Well, good for your sister.
It was like, ooh, what if I'm running and then just wham, wall? Like, what do I do at that point? I'm dead.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So, anyway. A lot of Stephen King properties are being released this year. You have Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining, starring Ewan McGregor.
Which I heard that they're trying to reboot The Shining.
Which
doesn't make sense if they're going to release Dr. Sleep, because, like, it... chronologically, you shouldn't do it that way. But, like, whatever. Maybe they want to see if that'll drum up, like...
interest?
Yeah, and then they'll be like, okay, it's worth it. Let's remake The Shining.
I would kind of hope they do, because I really don't like Kubrick's
You
The
don't?
Shining. It's so long.
It's such a classic. Everybody loves it so much.
But
you don't
it's
like it?
nothing... Like, even Stephen King hates it.
Yeah.
It's like Percy Jackson. We don't acknowledge it.
I think everybody acknowledges it.
Okay, let me rephrase. Like, I'd be more inclined to go watch a movie that actually adheres to the book and adheres to the mythology of it, as opposed to great cinematography, and I do air quotes because, to be honest, it's cool, it's great, it looks good visually. I'm just not about it.
Yeah, but Stephen King made his own version of The Shining.
Did he?
Yes. And the fact that you don't know that shows that it's not a good movie. And it's not...
Well, it's not like I'm speaking in defense of it. Like, I didn't know it existed.
It's not that it's not a good movie. It's just that because it is Stephen King, and obviously The Shining is, one of his babies.
He did too much. He
tried to put so much detail into the movie like it is in the book that it just...
doesn't make sense.
Not that it didn't make sense, because, the book makes sense, obviously. But it just... dragged on. There weren't like that much excitement to it.
Well, yeah, because
especially with books like The Shining, where a lot of it is internal with Jack, you can't convey that in a movie screen. Like, you can't convey his like slowly going crazy into a movie.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
You can, but like you don't get that inner dialogue that's like key to it.
I think if you tried it, and instead of him just like seeing all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and over and over and over again, you give him a double of some sort, like give him a sense of duality, you could convey that very easily. And it's not hard to have a stand-in and then have the actor portraying Jack talking to himself and doing things. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And never let an author be in charge of their projects.
Own works.
Yeah, like, it's bound... We saw it with... We're going to say it again. We saw it with Crimes of Grindelwald. Do not let the author hold all the power. Mm-hmm. Nothing good will come of it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I just heard that. I was like, is that a siren? But anyway. So, I would be interested if they did Dr. Sleep, and then they're like, Shining is, doing good. Or, like, people want to know, like, what is Danny's story, or like, a new generation doesn't know Danny's story, so let's go back to The Shining.
So hard to believe,
right?
That there might be a generation that doesn't know the classic Shining with Jack Nicholson, but like they're out there.
What else? Chapter 2 we already talked about. Pet Sematary.
Cemetery.
I think what makes this a good resurgence, and not in the Disney sense, is that horror can be dated very easily.
Yes. 100%.
So they're going, not with the greatest hits, obviously, but they are touching on things that have already been created. They're expanding on something like The Shining with Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, but I think, like, with The Shining and, like, Pet Sematary, they are dated. Obviously, like, with, like, how I said, the TV series of it versus the new movie doesn't hold up because it is dated. But I feel like the stories overall that he tells is something that isn't dated. Like, there's aspects in it, like, like, the book, it's set, like, the early version is set in, like, the 60s?
I don't recall.
Or whatever. I think it was, like, 60s, like, the kids in the 60s. So, like, the language and, like, the racism and all that is very dated, but the overall story is something that you can adapt to any time period. So I think that that's one of the good things about Stephen King is that, like, the stories overall...
the core of it can be adapted to a modern time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like Pet Sematary, one of the bigger differences that you see with the new trailer that they just released is that instead of it being his young son that is the one that's killed, it's his older daughter.
Yeah, I read Collider's interview on that, on why they wanted to switch it, is because you can't convey nearly as... Well, they said that it was a doll in the former Pet Cemetery, the old one. They used a doll as a stand-in on occasion, which is hilarious.
Really?
Yeah,
I did
because
not know
there's
that.
just some things you can't get a 2-year-old to do.
Well, I think he was like 4.
The statement stands.
Yeah.
Like, at least with his 9-year-old daughter dying, it makes sense. She has a sense of self. She knows what death is. She's seen The Lion King. You know what I mean? The circle of life.
Yeah.
So it's a little easier to convey the story that way. Like, see, like, little tweaks like that, I don't mind in, like, an
Yeah,
overall
like
story.
that doesn't really change the overall story. Like the fact that it's his daughter who's a little older versus a son who's a little younger. Like, you know, obviously the trauma of losing a child in such a like horrific way is still going to be the same, and the story's still going to be the same with all its like supernatural aspects to it. So none of the core story has changed, so that's good.
Do you think? How much more Stephen King do you think we'll see from this?
A lot.
Obviously,
Because
Gerald's Game was a success.
The only one that was horrible was Carrie.
Oh yeah, I forgot they redid Carrie.
Yeah, exactly. I watched it. I think I made you watch it.
You didn't make me watch it. I watched without you.
Oh, okay.
Because you always see things without me. Traitor.
Well, I went to see it with a friend. I'm sorry.
Breaking my heart.
But I saw it in theaters, and it was good-ish.
It was acceptable.
It was acceptable for the time, but now that I see what they can do with Stephen King remakes, it's trash. But for what it was good. It seemed like they kind of tried really hard to make it modern, and fit it into like this technological age and everything with like Carrie and the bullying. I think Chloe Grace Moretz did fine
for what she was given.
Yeah, I think she's a good actress. Like overall, I think she's actually really good, and I think she like if she was given a little more direction, maybe she could have done better with Carrie. I think overall she did really well though, because like especially in the beginning when Carrie's like such a shut-in, obviously, it did really good. Once it started getting to like the prom night and she starts
revenging.
Yeah, once she starts wreaking havoc on everybody that wronged her, it started getting weird. Like the way they portrayed the telekinesis and all that wasn't the best. It was a little weird. The car scene with like the main bad girl and her boyfriend was really graphic, and I didn't really like that. Because they lived in the original movie.
You know what?
John Travolta.
Do you know what year it was that it came out?
The original?
No.
The remake?
Yeah. We were dating, so it has to be after 2012.
I think it was 2013 because it was. But we were still in high school. It was before senior year.
2013, Daisy. Everybody dies.
Okay.
That's this isn't the 70s. The 70s. 60s,
yeah, I just think that
where we can spare children.
Yeah, I guess. I just think that the ending of the Carrie remake didn't have the same impact that the original did.
To be honest, I'm not a fan of the original, so
that's fine. I think it's amazing.
It's just, the
Look
hand coming.
Look at that pop.
The hand coming out of the grave does nothing for me.
And I get it, but
maybe if I read it, it'd be different.
I have it. It's over there.
Maybe I need.
You can read it.
I don't know if I'm gonna commit to that.
It's a little thin, so you can make it.
But you know what I mean? Like maybe there's something there, like more to it, like in the story, kind of like whenever you're reading from Pennywise's perspective and stuff like that, like that expands. So I understand the horror or like whatever. But no, like as far as like imagery,
I mean, I think with like
also
the
wasn't it
horror
the nice girl?
aspect, huh?
Then wasn't it like a nice girl that goes and puts like a flower on her like house?
Yes.
So why would she,
Because how she would know?
That doesn't. I don't know. She's in hell.
She was pregnant. The girl.
Oh, okay. I was like, Carrie was pregnant?
No.
Like she had her period.
The girl that was trying to help her.
Okay.
No, but I think with Carrie, the scarier aspect of it was her overbearing, super religious mother.
Yeah.
Was more of the horror aspect than her being like telekinesis and all this shit.
Yeah.
So if they could remake Carrie again, that'd be awesome.
I don't know how they would modernize it though. Like realistically. I struggle kind of figuring out how they would do that story.
I mean, really, the most they could do with it is like cyberbullying.
No, but like the mother part. Like there
The
are
same thing. They're super religious people now.
But that doesn't like that won't appeal to like the general audience. You know what I mean? Like that ideology is kind of dying. Like think of how many people are now like I'm atheist or some form of agnostic. Or,
yeah, but like I think that's even more of a reason that it would be something.
Is this our debate of the show, the one where we're gonna like get
No.
passionate about?
No, I ain't passionate about it, but I'm just saying like there still are like super religious people that are like super into their beliefs, and because a lot more people are a lot more open-minded nowadays, that is something, if you do see someone who is super closed-minded like that, that does make you angry. So I feel like that concept is still relevant, because if you do come across someone who is so closed-minded, it's really like, it's more of like, it's less scary and more like angering, because it's like, why can't you just accept it, you know? So I think it could still be told like in modern time.
Maybe. I don't see it. I'll let you write it. You can write like a script for me.
Okay.
Just try and make it as modern as possible, you know.
Okay, so Stephen King adaptations. Carrie already happened. It wasn't that great. I
thought you meant it wasn't that great, and I was like, you just said it was your top movie. What the fuck?
See, exactly. This is why the title messes with things. It was great. It Chapter 2 is coming up. Gerald's Game was really good. The 19 whatever was really good. The JFK with James Franco, also really good. It's on. I should still be on Hulu because it was a Hulu like exclusive thing.
Yeah, I think they produced it.
Yeah, so it should still be on there. It's not like Netflix where they take it off. Pet Sematary is coming out
April.
And then they're doing In the Tall Grass, which is a short story that Stephen King wrote with his son. I believe I think it's going straight to Netflix, but I might be wrong. It might be getting a theatrical release, but it is a short story, so I'm not sure how they're going to.
I feel like it's easy to adapt because there's not
as much to go off of, and they can kind of.
You can play more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming out too. I don't know. I don't think anything else is like confirmed.
No.
For Stephen King, but I know
properties are being bought.
Yeah. I know people really want to see a remake of Misery, which I think would be really interesting.
Ooh, no, I don't want to. First off, I've never seen Misery, but I know what happens in Misery.
If you've never seen it.
Mom was watching it once, and it was right before
it's because it was the leg bashing.
Yeah, it was before that happened. She's like, "What? You're not gonna want to see this." And I was like, "Why?" And I was younger, obviously. She's like, "She's gonna do something real bad to his legs," and I was like,
"Yeah,
all right."
He did,
and I was like,
"It was real bad."
You already have like maybe because of soccer, I already had like this thing where it's like, could you imagine your knee just being pushed in all the way? Like, ugh. So. Nope,
that just real messed you up.
Yeah, I just walked out, and I was like, you know what? I can do without this. And I think when we went to Japan, they were showing it, too, at Universal. It was really weird. I know.
Weird.
It was on, and I was like, nope, and went to X-Men Last Stand.
Okay.
So, you know.
I've like seen people want Misery to be remade, and I think that would be a super interesting concept if they did it right.
Can I give you a really not serious question?
Sure.
If they did Misery, and you could choose the author, any author, to be kidnapped, who would you want to be kidnapped?
John Green.
You want John Green to be...
It's like the first name that comes to mind, and I think that would be super funny.
Okay.
Because he writes like romance novels.
Right.
You know?
Like a Nick, yeah.
Like... The Fault in Our Stars, like, come on, guys.
Nicholas Sparks.
Exactly. But more into it, Nicholas Sparks probably would be good, but I don't actually know
what he looks like.
Yeah, or how old he is.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'd say John Green.
Just take what's his nuts? Game of Thrones. I'm blanking on his name so hard right now. George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, I was like, don't we have the book somewhere? Let me look.
George R.R. Martin, you know, the last book still hasn't come out. The
last two books.
The last two books, oh my god.
There's still two books that he needs to write.
Okay, well then, you know, he hasn't finished either of them, and season 8's already out, so we know how it ends. So it's like, what's the holdup, man?
Yeah.
So she bashes the knees in.
You know what movie I don't think would be able to be remade because it would never be as serious? Cujo.
I could never watch Cujo.
Cujo freaked me out as a kid. Like, it was so bad. And also, okay, my parents are immigrants. They came from Mexico, so, like, most of the movies, like, classic movies that everybody has seen, I watched them, but in Spanish. Because my parents watched them. So, Cujo was one of those movies that I watched in Spanish, and it freaked me out. So bad. Like, so terrified. Like,
you just had rabies, right? That was it?
Essentially, yeah. And it just... But it was like a special strand, I think.
I thought he got bit by a bat or something.
Mm-hmm. And it just made him go real crazy and, like...
Hey, man, it'd
want
be
that human meat. But, like... Because they get... Like, it's... I don't know. Because I watched it when I was, like, 4 years old. In Spanish. So my memory is very hazy on it. But... It was, like... I just remember it was the mom and, like, her son, I believe. And they went from, like, the house that they were trapped in into a car. And there was another guy in the car, too, and he tried to, like, get out and escape, obviously, to get help, but Cujo got him. And it was just, like, the mom and the son in the car, and, like, Cujo trying to get in because, you know, he crazy dog.
And that freaked you out?
Yes! It is literally, that is literally the only part of that freaking movie that I remember because I was so little when I first watched it. But it scared me so bad. Like, I used to sleep in my parents' room, like, in their bed with them when I was little, and they would just, like, transfer. Yeah, and they would just transfer me once I fell asleep back into my room. But it freaked me out so bad because I would sleep at the edge of the bed next to my mom so my parents could still sleep together. But one night, after that, I watched that movie, like, I had my leg dangling off.
You broke the rule. The demons are going to get you.
It wasn't even the demons. I was like, Cujo is going to come and bite my leg off and, like, drag me off to hell or something. Like, it was specifically Cujo. It was specifically that freaking dog.
You have issues,
that freaked me out, and I had to start sleeping.
Bernard.
No, because that is literally what I imagined. Like, it was so bad. Like, you know Beethoven? That movie?
You couldn't watch Beethoven?
No! Because all I could think about was Cujo.
I'm going to get you a little St. Bernard puppy. I'm going to give him some whipped cream, a little puppuccino. Be like, look, this is Cujo.
It's rabies. But it freaked me out so bad that I had to start sleeping in between my parents.
Oh my god.
Because I couldn't be at the edge of the bed.
You cute, innocent child.
But it freaked me out so bad as a kid, but I feel like if they remade that now, it would just be so ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Cujo's definitely out.
Yeah.
Did he write, not Carrie, Christine?
Yes.
That's out.
Yeah. Killer Car?
Killer Car. Nope. They could redo The Mist. Did he write The Mist?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I couldn't tell if you're nodding or not.
Sorry.
You're fine. That'd be good. It wasn't that it was bad. The Mist, I think...
The Mist was really good.
No, that pissed me off, though. Talk about religious zealots.
Oh my god, yeah, that lady.
The lady was like, sacrifice the blood.
Oh, she's the worst. But the ending is different in the book than it was. The movie actually, in my opinion, had a better ending than the book did.
That was like the saddest thing to see.
Yeah, that's not how it went down. They were just stuck
at
the end of the book, and that was it. Like, they were stuck in their car.
Ominous ending.
Mm-hmm. But they at least, it was a horrible, like, sad ending, but they at least gave you an ending.
Yeah.
In the movie. Which I think was more compelling.
No, yeah, for the characters and everything.
Yeah, like, he had to fucking kill his son and, like, everyone who was with him and just live with the horrors that, like...
That were out there?
Yeah.
Well, to him.
Best case scenario, he killed himself later on.
Yeah, sure.
That's kind of the only logical thing.
Well, you never know if the mom died, right? Or...
She died, come on.
Look, man,
I'm
just saying.
She stayed in no, she died.
That's messed up.
She definitely died.
If they could survive in a fucking grocery store.
She died.
That's dark.
When they were leaving for the grocery store, the mist was already, like, halfway across the lake in front of their house.
So
she definitely died.
You know what, kids? Moral of the story, marry somebody resourceful. Alright? Don't marry somebody that'll die to some freakish bugs.
I'm just saying.
Sad.
The Mist would be good. Christine would be a little weird.
Sam Witwer was in that. My boy Darth Maul.
Yeah, he was.
He was a cop.
The army.
Or, okay, military. Yeah, mm-hmm. I was
he
knew
was
it was some military, sort of uniform.
He was the one they tortured and we're like, what happened? We're going to kill you. And he was like, it's an experiment. I don't know. They don't tell us things. We've been fucking with shit.
Oh, Sam. You poor boy. And the girl he liked, didn't she get, like, jabbed in the neck by something? She got, like, stung, and then, like, it's...
Yeah, she got stung by the thing, and it swole really gross.
Ugh,
like,
that was so nasty.
Oh, so good.
You're a freak.
It's a good-ass movie, man.
Yeah, I just, nasty-ass death.
Yeah, or, The Green Mile?
No idea what that is.
Okay. It's another Stephen King book.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It has Tom Hanks in it.
I've heard of that movie.
Okay.
I do know he's in it.
It's on Netflix, so you can watch it.
Yeah. Do you have 2 It's? Or do you own Cujo?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Interesting. I didn't know that.
I own, like, a lot of Stephen King. I have the JFK one. I have a book of his short stories.
You have the JFK one, and you were struggling for the title, even though it was right there the entire time.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. Hold on, let me look. 11/22/63. Thank you.
I hate you.
I forgot that I had it over there. I have the Tommy Knockers. I have Salem's Lot. I have Carrie.
Wasn't Tommy Knockers and Salem's Lot a movie?
Salem's Lot was.
I don't know what it's about, but
yeah, because before for our listeners, Jorge lost a whole bunch of my movies, specifically my movies.
Can't be proven.
Because we moved in together, and he just completely lost a full ass box of all of my DVDs, including horror, Disney, just basically everything in the entire world that I have ever loved. He lost.
First off, this was post us moving in together, and during the time that the floors were being redone. So when our floors were being redone, I moved everything out of the room because somebody couldn't be bothered with it. So no offense, but you kind of got what was coming to you.
Yeah. But I did have, because we went to Movie Trading Co. and I bought a 4 movie value thing.
Stephen King.
Yes, it came with the original It, I believe, the original Pet Sematary, Salem's Lot, and another one that I can't remember. But it had 4.
Hope it was Cujo.
It wasn't Cujo.
I'm gonna
I remember that.
blast on the soundbar tonight or in the morning of the Cujo scene.
I also have Gerald's Game. It's over on that side, though.
I'm gonna have Juno and Cleo just barking like crazy with
That's
Cujo.
rude.
And see what happens.
That's mean. You're mean.
No, I'm not. I do it because I love you. You literally, the only reason you won't put on a Michael Myers mask
is because I don't want you to punch me in the face. But I 100% would do it.
And it's, look, I've warned you. We've talked about this, right? Because Maudie's jumped out at me, and I swear, man, as I've gotten older and, I won't say, it's not a good response to punch someone in the face when they jump out at you, but it kind of
is. But it is self-defense, so I can't, be completely upset about it.
You're jumping at me at the man, the myth, the legend,
but the
Mikey
thought
Myers.
Most definitely has crossed my mind to just put that mask on and scare you, but I do not want to get punched in the nose because I have a nice nose.
I could hit you in the cheek. You could try and duck or turn. But if you duck or turn, best believe I'm kicking. So
I would have to be like, it's me.
You could, here's the thing. At best, you could stand in a doorway and hope I don't reach you in time.
Yeah.
Because you know damn well.
But the timing of that would have to be so perfect. And honestly, I don't think I'm skilled enough for it.
Yeah, I honestly, if you tried to do it in the hallway, I think you'd bust your ass.
Yeah, 100%, because I would most likely be wearing socks.
And then
just slide and,
I'd
hurt myself.
On top of falling, you'd have me jumping you.
But, what did you, the height difference is very significant between me and Michael Myers. I'm only 5'2", and he's at least 6 feet.
In a moment of fear, if there's shadow, I don't give a fuck what you are. I'm coming at your ass.
I'll just wait for you next time you take the garbage out.
My niece lives in this home, goddammit. I can't have her in any way, shape, or form potentially scared or mauled by some shadow thing. It is my duty as her uncle to beat its ass and get it out of the house.
Sure thing.
That's what being an uncle's all about. Fun facts.
Yeah, I guess so.
Any last words on horror?
It's a good time to be a horror fan.
It is. It really is. The Shining's overrated.
The Shining is not overrated.
Long live true canon.
Shut up!
Thank you guys for listening. This has been a fun little discussion with pretty minimal,
fighting?
Yeah, arguing. Normally we get really heated over like one topic. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next time
with something.
real solid hook. We'll do streaming wars. There's a lot.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, there's a lot of shade being thrown.
We'll
and
save that.
A lot of content coming out that we got to split for. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.